We are going to get started this morning. Let me share my screen and let's just take a look at the agenda. All right, the agenda, we start, I switched things around just a little bit after talking to everybody and just kind of seeing what people's concerns were. And I decided to throw this first thing in called curriculum, equipment, and software. The reason why is because everybody's looking for practical things right now. Like, how am I going to get a keyboard into my students' hands? What equipment, where are links to those equipment? How much do they cost? What kind of software should I use? And so if you want to go to that link a little later on, you'll always have this link in this agenda, and I'm going to leave this agenda open. So this is the place where it's going to be your table of contents or your index, where you can come here and just go to anything. So if I click on this, the curriculum, equipment, and software I have in 3 separate sections here. Let me start with the equipment, because a lot of people were asking, what kind of keyboards would you recommend? And I told you I'd get you this later. This is the cheapest keyboard that I would recommend for really good, a good experience for students. It has a MIDI connectivity. It has dynamic, so you can play loud and soft on it. And it has 61 keys. You know, 88 keys is nice, but it costs more money. Really depends on what budget your students are in. And then it also has, surprisingly, an aux-in cord. Now, let's say they want another keyboard. I also put this recommended pianos here, and I've done a lot of research on what are some really inexpensive solutions and what are some of the best solutions. So this first one here was this the budget keyboard, and then I show pros and cons to it. And then number 4 is a budget keyboard that's 88 keys. This one is Williams Legato. I show pros and cons to that one. Surprisingly, $229 for 88 keys is not bad. If you want a what do you call this, like a cabinet piano, this is the most inexpensive one I have found, but it has a pedal. It's got all the really good features with in and out MIDI. It's got auxiliary input, believe it or not. Most of your keyboards at this price will not have that. So really good. You can put your laptop on it, or you can put your iPad on it, or your music. When you go up in quality, I found that this is one of my favorites. It's actually the one I'm using right here today. I really like this in a lab situation because it's not too high. It's a little lower, and it makes it easier for people to sight read when their music and their keys are a little closer together. Some of these other pianos, like this Yamaha, you notice it's a little taller. Makes it a little bit harder to read, but this is still my favorite keyboard right now, which is $2,700 for the Clavinova CLP 635. There are obviously some other things, like if you wanted, I have a grand piano where I've got a piano scan on it, which is really cool because I can use my acoustic piano and connect it to my computer, which allows you to do assessment software or to do notation like Finale or whatever. So those you can get whenever you want. Obviously, there are more keyboards out there, but these are my favorite. Does anybody have any questions before I move on from keyboards? Okay, no questions. Let's move on. I don't have links to cables, but I did notice, like on my digital piano, I didn't realize that I had an auxiliary input and how to use that and connect it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some links to cables and stuff in here and some videos on how to hook stuff up. Let me just make a note. Maybe Josh, would you mind doing that? Maybe we do a section here called how to hook up keyboard to device. And then we'll do something like audio and MIDI. When it comes to microphones, a lot of people will wonder what kind of mic I should get. You can just use the cheap one on your device, your computer, that. But if you want something that's really a high quality but really inexpensive, I found this one works extremely well. And there's a Amazon link on that. Mic stands. This is some ideas on how to connect your device. Sorry, your microphone. I'm wrong. How to connect your camera over your keys so that you can see your piano. The boom stand has been my favorite because it's so versatile and it's easy to hook up. So people ask, you know, what should I look for? I actually prefer this more expensive one with the mic clip and gooseneck, but I started off with this one. The only problem is it can fall over because it's kind of light. And so you have to put a sandbag on it to keep it from flipping over, or tape it to the side of your piano or something. Video software, you guys know what Zoom is. Skype, Hangouts, Duo, Microsoft Meetings. There's so many different ones out there. My favorite for one-on-one lessons and group lessons is Zoom. If I'm going to collaborate with a group, my favorite way to do that is with Skype because it does stuff that Zoom cannot. Hangouts is just free. A lot of people ask about Facebook. Not Facebook, FaceTime. The problem with FaceTime is what? Anybody?
Only Apple.
Only Apple can use it. So only 50% of the population has an Apple device that they can even use with that. You may have, most of your students have Apple, and then you could use FaceTime. But for something universal, I think these other ones work better where they work on any device.
Question.
Yes.
Is anyone else concerned in using Skype or FaceTime about using your own personal number, phone number? Because I love my students, but I don't want them to have my cell phone number.
I'm going to open that to the panel. Everybody, any concerns?
Also, my school, my department really is against us using Facebook or anything like that as a possibility because of FERPA and all of those things.
I think connection is key, that you need to stay connected to the students. I personally have given them my cell phone number. If it becomes a problem, then get yourself another phone or change your number. But so far, it has not been a problem.
I agree with that so far.
I think you can change your Apple ID in settings. You can change your Apple ID to your email address, I think. And so when the students are getting onto FaceTime, I'm pretty sure they can just type in your email address instead of your phone number.
Yeah, okay.
I've never had a student stalk me.
But on Zoom, isn't it just an email address, or am I wrong on that?
Well, I'm not talking about Zoom. I'm talking about Skype or FaceTime.
Because you want to use that instead of Zoom?
No, I use Zoom. I'm just saying, because he listed Skype and FaceTime as possibilities.
My students, I used Skype this past semester, and my students have my cell phone number, but it was with I'm not technologically minded, but it was with the Skype ID link. I don't think it was my phone number at all, but I could.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can change that. You can change how it's accessed, whether it's through an email address or a phone number.
Yeah, my philosophy is I like to try as many things as I can and see which one works the best, and then deal with things as they come up.
Just so everybody knows, Zoom is not a liable platform. My university is banning to use Zoom at all because there's a link to China or something. My university does a lot of work for NASA, in other industries. And so we received an email saying that Zoom was not a platform that we needed to use. So right now they are asking for WebEx through the campus portal. But unfortunately, WebEx sometimes is jammed because of the amount of people using. So I use FaceTime, I use Skype, I use WhatsApp, whatever necessary to be able to teach them. And unfortunately, I had to give my students my cell phone, which I never had done it before, but this past semester I had to do it.
I'm putting WhatsApp on there as well. I forgot about that one. We use that mostly. It's used in most parts of the world, a little less in the United States, but yeah, it's probably the largest platform outside of the United States. As far as that goes, what I found is institutions have to deal with a lot of logistics and legal things, and so they sometimes go overboard in their limitations, which really limits us as teachers and drives me nuts because a lot of times their ideas are unfounded and their worries are unfounded. Zoom, for instance, there was a leak in Zoom back in April or March, and Zoom went and released some new security settings, but most universities just got scared of that and they just don't care. They're like, I just don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole, even if it is the best way. So you may have to get special permission from your administrators for this or that, and maybe explain why, and maybe their hands are tied too, and you'll just have to figure something else out. So we'll move on now to video editing software. I put Camtasia on here. Does anybody else have another video editing software that they give to their students? I heard iMovie.
iMovie, yeah.
That one's free, which makes it really good, but it's only, you can only use it on
Apple.
On Apple. So I have not found anything that's free for your Windows platform.
I've tried DaVinci Resolve and WeVideo.
I lied. DaVinci Resolve is free.
Mm-hmm. And then WeVideo, I don't know. I've just kind of looked at a little bit, and I think I've even heard like some like junior high and high schools, they give their kids and they use that in the schools to make little videos. So the kids may even already know it. I haven't looked deeply into it.
What's that one called?
WeVideo.
I'm going to put it on there. Anybody can check that out. Does anybody have another one?
I have recently been made aware of something called Loom, L-O-O-M. I think it's more helpful for instructors in terms of creating presentations and lectures, but maybe it's worth taking a look at.
I haven't used it. I've heard of it, but I thought it was more of like a video.
It's not video editing software. I think it's more of a presentation creator helper.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Lecture.
Yes.
So it doesn't fit in this category.
Let's get off of that one. I guess we don't have a category for presentation.
But that's a good point.
Slides, that one's free.
And Screencastify.
I lied. They changed their name to presentation. Screencastify is a presentation one?
And that's what I've heard. You can kind of edit your videos so that you can, splice them together and have a good presentation. I'm gonna look into it.
I have not seen that one.
Limiting video editing too.
I guess as more of a conference, not a conferencing, but a streaming.
And I found for capturing my screen, making a video of my screen to say walk through Channel Marvel or something for Apple users, QuickTime. You can make videos rather quickly, very easily. Except you have to make sure you send it as a smaller file.
QuickTime.
QuickTime.
Oh, QuickTime. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And YouTube has some limited video editing too.
We'll put YouTube on there.
I use personally the Premiere Pro. That's a little bit more
Oh, yeah.
complicated, but I do use that. And for presentation, actually, Zoom, you can have a presentation in the record mode. And I haven't tried it, but I was recommended my IT people
Are you
to do
saying
the presentation on Zoom directly.
Yeah, I have made screen capturing on Zoom, which which I'm doing right now. I'm just recording the screen and you can see everything I'm doing. So you can use Zoom as a screen capture, but unfortunately you can't do any editing with it. So it wouldn't go in the video editing one. Premiere Final Cut.
ScreenFlow is another editing software, but it's not free. It does contain some learning curve. ScreenFlow. Anybody heard of a ScreenFlow?
I've used ScreenFlow.
But
it's just for Mac though.
Whoa, ScreenFlow.
That's like $169 for the software.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's only for Apple computers.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right, I'll put a note on that. Okay, as far as notation software, the free one that's probably the biggest right now is MuseScore. You have Finale and Sibelius, which are pretty expensive. NoteFlight, they're doing a really good job with being able to share like an online platform. You can upload, it's kind of like Google Drive, but for notation software. That one's not free. So none of these are free except for MuseScore, and that's why I think MuseScore is good, especially at a time right now where the students and budgets are really tight. And I think it's good to at least experiment with the free software.
NoteFlight does have a free version. It's the limited version.
I did not know that.
And also Dorico, which is about 4 years old now. That is hopefully the new leading software. It was developed by the Sibelius team that was let go several years ago. And they do have a free version, and it's not free for 1 month. It's a permanently free software, Dorico SE. And you can it's great for pianists because you're only allowed to use 2 voices, like piano and instrument. But it can actually play a full Dorico file if I send you a chamber piece or an orchestral piece. It'll actually play it. And of course, you can save it in XML to send it to any other notation program that a student might have. So
that is cool. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Guillermo, you've got the board.
Yeah, I wanted to share a new addition to our class piano equipment. Dealing with cameras, I've seen people work with mics, with mic stands with the booms and iPhone clips and cameras. We've always had a document camera in our piano lab. It was an Elmo with the flat platform and the arm, with the camera arm. So I found a new, we need something more efficient. So I found a new document camera, and it has a gooseneck. Let me switch cameras here.
Hey, I have a question. Can I ask a question really quickly?
Sure.
This is about Zoom. I just pinned you as I know I spotlighted you. Did anybody else's video go really large on Guillermo, or is that just for me personally? Sean, it did go up? All right. So just so you know why his screen went really big is because I clicked on his name and highlighted or spotlighted his video. Thanks for the feedback.
Yeah. So we have a setup. We have, of course, the camera on the iMac, which is next to the teacher station. I'm looking at it. We also have a Zoom camera, Zoom Q4N on a mic stand right over there. And then we have this new Aver dot cam. And what I liked about it is I have no other mic stands around me. And it has, well, let me go back. Let me switch. It has this gooseneck. It's not very big. It's a 6x6 inch base. And so I can move it where I want it. But this gooseneck is the game changer. I can move it wherever I need it. There are all different price points in this. I'm not a salesman for Aver, but I think everyone should have these because you get rid of a lot of equipment. Let me go, one more. So now I'm on the Aver. So I can put it wherever I need it. I can bring it back. It can actually be my camera for me. And I just rotate my screen and we'll bring it back. So I just got these working last week after unpacking everything I had purchased. So now we can easily see the hands in the correct direction. I had considered GoPro cameras, and that would have, of course, been more wires, some kind of a stand for it, tripod for it to be set right here on the music rack. But it doesn't assure that it would go the correct direction. So this has been an amazing solution so far. But of course, it's still a document camera. I can just switch it over to here, to my shelf, or pick it up and move it. But definitely, if you have the ability to purchase one item that's more than a couple $100, you might consider a dot camera with a smaller base. Elmo does make dot cameras with smaller bases. They don't have this gooseneck arm though, which is the game changer.
Yeah.
I could put it on the whole classroom if I wanted. They're all my Go pianos that I purchased, still in boxes. So this is an amazing tool, I think.
Is that A-V-E-R, Aver, Mike?
It's a AVER document camera.
Would you mind putting that in the equipment document with a link?
Sure. Also, I uploaded a document to the invite that you had originally sent out. I made a document with pictures.
Okay.
But no, I'll add it to it.
Yeah, if you can add that to that, I think that'd be great. I'd rather you do it than me because then we can make sure to get the right place. I haven't seen or used that before.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Could you record video with that?
Yes, you can do video. It can be stored to a USB little zip drive or an SD card, or you could record it to your computer. And it does have a microphone. Some of them have Wi-Fi. You have to have a dongle, a Wi-Fi dongle for it. You have to be careful with that. My university would not support the Wi-Fi on any of these dot cams that I was considering because Elmo made one that you could actually fold up and then walk around the room. It was battery powered. You could walk around the room and show that student playing arabesque, whatever it might be, which is a pretty sweet idea. But it would not work on our networks. We have 6 different levels of networks, and they would not support it on any of them. So careful with the Wi-Fi elements. But the storage is great. You can make the videos. It does have a microphone for your videos. So it is kind of an all-in-one magic wand, I think. So.
Yeah, I'd love to, if you put that on that doc.
Sure.
Thank you.